Good evening, everybody. Today is the 24th of June and our 14 in the series of our DAC conversations. Almost 3 months since the lockdown actually began in India. Just a humble request. There might be some people who have got the COVID virus and have recovered. It would be really gracious on your part if you can donate your plasma so that it can save a life for those people who really need it. So please, if you can, that'll be great. Why am I wearing dark glasses? Everybody is wondering. I went to my dentist today, so that's why. Big deal. So today we are going to be talking to a young boy from Bhirmapuram in Chennai, all the way there. They are still under lockdown, but we shall be talking to him. Let's see where this conversation goes with him. So, hello Mayur, Avinash, Rajkumar, Vijayji, how are you? I hope you're keeping well. Adi, hope you're good in Chennai with the lockdown. Rishabh, hello. Udit, Jay Dantara, hello. Yeah, you'll have to go back to and see this video again. Why am I wearing dark glasses? Yeah, that's another way to make sure you see the video again from the very beginning. That's the whole idea. We are waiting for Mr. Vinay Sridhar from Chennai to get online with us and have a chat with him.
Vinay!
Hello, sir. How are you?
Yo, eppadi irukke raskala?
Fantastic, sir.
Good. I see you got red Audio Technica headphones, M50X. My favorite as well.
The idea is to buy it in every color. So you've got a white, a black,
Yes.
a red.
And they also have a blue and beige.
Yeah. That's
They
it.
have. Cool. So,
How are you
Vinay,
doing, sir? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Vinay. I'm doing good. I just told everybody I'm wearing these dark shades because I went to the dentist today. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's okay. So, I see a whole bunch of. Are they books at the back or are they CDs at the back?
Oh, they're all CDs and this.
That's your dad's collection at the back. I've seen it.
And that, yeah.
Yep, I've seen it many times. And if I may recollect, he had the habit of collecting at least two of the ones that he had worked on, just in case one went bad. Is that still right? I mean, that's how the collection was?
Yeah, that's right. Also of the ones he did work on.
Right, the John McLaughlin one. That's right. He had called me to ask me to join him for that because he said it's going to be an amazing session. I think you should be here. And unfortunately, that time I was busy with something and I was only going to get free after 4 or 5 days. By that time, another week, the session would have ended. So I really missed that one, I must say. I mean, he called and said, Ajo. So that's how it was. Cool. So, Vinay, I already announced where you are from. So all the girls are going to be flocking there. I've told them your address before you came on. He's the most eligible bachelor right now in Chennai, riding high, doing some amazing work, and his body of work, he's already done some amazing things. So we're going to talk about that. So if you all stick around, you'll get to know him some more before you land up at his house. So here we are talking to Vinay Sridhar. He's a BCom graduate from what I get to know, and immediately ran off to work for Google.
Yes.
So what's the story there, man? Like you were doing research work, search work engines for them, and I mean, what were you doing there?
At the very outset, I wasn't an engineer at Google. It's not the, he used to work at Google kind of thing that people usually think. I was working with the ad space and digital marketing, so that was where it all started. Away from the commerce thing into that. And it wasn't any coding at all. So I did the digital marketing, ad space, and sales and all of that.
So that's what you were doing at Google. And how come there in the middle of doing the digital marketing, you figured I have to do engineering now suddenly? What happened there at Hyderabad?
It was a collection of different things, to be honest. Firstly, it was just because of all the music that we'd grown up with. There was always an inclination to do something with music. at the same time, Rahman sir gave me the opportunity of coming just hanging in the studio with them. That happened, and Anirudh, who I work with a lot these days, also is a very close friend, and we used to play in the same band in college. And he was a year junior, so when I left, that's when he started doing film shorts and feature films. So he used to send me songs saying, "What's your take?" The criticism, I think, got too high, and he was like, "Why don't you just come and then do it yourself?"
Right. If you are going to criticize, might as well you come and fix it.
That's exactly what it was, I think.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. So that prompted you back to move to Chennai. So what year was this? When were you back in Chennai?
2014 early, I think. 2014, yeah.
2014 early. Okay. So now you are, when you came back, you where did you started with AR studio or you were with Anirudh?
It was all like the same point, but mainly it was Rahman sir's, because I think the facility really helped me. So I just never left. And all the people there are pretty much all my teachers, other than the YouTube and the Google guys. In terms of, otherwise it's just all of the guys in AM, Panchatin, and and you and everywhere else.
Yeah. No, I remember seeing you there as part of it. Like, as happens with AR's place, that so many people streaming in and out. Some people are there just to learn. Some people are there just to help, and then they move out and they come back. So yes, of course, I saw you as well, and we talked so many times about a lot of projects, and some we were on it together. So that was the fun part of it. So were you there when the big bombastic Kolavari D happened in Anirudh's life?
Well, I was not working with him at that point.
Okay.
But the funny story is, we were there. So the very popular story and the true story of it was that the original version of Kolavari that had leaked was the shoot mix or the pre-final version of it.
Right.
And at that point, Ani had come to Hyderabad to meet somebody there, I guess, at one of the labels, I think. And so we were hanging out that evening, and it was the day before his birthday, if I'm not wrong.
All right.
So we were out, and then he gets a call saying the track leaked, and then it was a very eventful birthday. So I wasn't working with him at that point, but yes, I was there when it actually happened, when we got to know.
Oh, okay.
And then it just went crazy and nobody expected.
Yeah, man, that was one viral song like hell. My God.
Yeah.
The whole nation, the world was singing that song every place.
Yeah. I think the masterclass was to put the lyrics in English also below, because everybody could follow what they were saying.
Could follow that, right? Absolutely. No, great. I think Sony capitalized on it very well as a label, and they put it all very well together. They handled it very well, no doubt about it. I must say that was the classic case of learning how something goes viral and how you capitalize on that. That was definitely there. So Vinay, now, so what are you doing with AR's place? I mean, what all kind of duties? What are you handling there when you are there in the studio? What are you doing there?
Well, essentially, there were a lot of recordings that initially when I first came back, it was like, guys, don't treat me like I'm Sridhar's son. I'm just another guy who joined the studio. That was my first thing, because it was two things. First thing, I didn't want the treatment. Second thing, the expectation would be higher. So I was like, I know nothing about what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start at scratch, rolling cables, and if I'm doing it wrong, let me know. So since it started that way, the ladder was the same. It was be in sessions. And thankfully, because I've learned music and played music, I got into recordings a little earlier. That helped. After which, there was a lot of a lot of the guys there, Suresh, Karthik, Chetan, all of these guys. Chetan and Suresh especially do a lot of the mixes over there. So I didn't want to step on people's feet and say, give me the song to mix and all that. So I used to always be the guy who was also helping out, getting stuff, giving opinions and all of that. But then it came to scores. Score mixes came, Ramasa gave me, I think Mohenjo-daro was the first one, if I'm not wrong. There's a lot of Henry and all of these people, because it was a big score.
There is a guy called Santosh who is saying, I remember him joining Panjatan straight from Google. It's a very short span of time. He learned so much audio and executed it big. Santosh
Yeah, Santosh.
Dayanidhi.
Hey, Santosh. Santosh is another music producer and is also a composer who worked on
Oh,
all of this stuff with us at Panchatan also.
okay. And I believe your mom is
Thanks,
also
Santosh.
online watching from the other room.
She she joined just when you were saying all the girls are welcome, so she's very happy.
Good. I mean, it's good to be forewarned. I mean, I'm glad. I mean, if they all start landing up, suddenly she'll be worried. I mean, she's surprised. So it's good she knows. That's okay.
Yeah.
So that's I know Vinay. I can understand very well. Your dad H. Sridhar was a huge figure in the music industry in India for all the musicians, for all the composers, for all the engineers in India, and it's not easy to for any child to fill in those shoes. It's not that easy. It's very difficult. So I'm sure there was that expectation and some pressure somewhere, maybe from others around you. So how did you work with that? I mean, I know you came and said, "Don't treat me like that," but still, I'm sure there were
It,
some
to
things
be
which were
honest,
happening around you,
it was
which
a
kind of
lot.
led you to believe that they were.
I'm
Hello.
not ignorant of the fact that it was there. To be honest, it was a lot of the people I worked with who gave me the comfort of saying, we're not expecting you to be a H3 there today. Okay, so
Mm.
you can just work the way you're working. And that, to be honest, all the people around, friends and people I work with, just said, do your thing. Don't think about what people are saying. I know it's really, really huge shoes to fill. I'm just trying my best not to shame him, that's all, to be honest.
No, you are not. You're right up there. You're doing your body of work speaks for itself. Guys, you can check him out on his IMDb listing, and the work that he's doing, working with such amazing new talent which is coming out of there in Chennai. And so you are now not only just doing mixing. From what I found out, you're also doing music production. So how is I know so the background of music that you heard in your house growing up, having a band and everything, and now that is coming full circle for you to do music production. So how did that? Who asked you first? Say, hey, do some music for me and produce it.
Initially, that was in my head. I thought that was what I was going to get into first. So
Okay.
it's actually the reverse that happened. I started out doing a little bit of production here and there, but now I'm just completely into the mixed world. So that's taken a backseat, to be honest. But initially, some of my friends who were coming up making music for films and albums. They were like, okay, so this is happening. Can you make a remix of this song? Nivas Prasanna, who's done a couple of films, quite a big guy in the south. He had given me a song. Nowadays, it's getting a little lower in terms of production.
Okay, Nivas, I think Nivas Prasanna is here.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Hey, Nivas.
I hope you all know that there is a special prize at the end of the question session. Whichever question Vinay feels that really was a very interesting question out of all the ones that were asked to him, that person wins JZ5 headphones. There you are back again, and Prasanna says you have an incredible sense of sound and music. And of course, one guy from Delhi thinks that you look like Sunny Deol. Wow. I think you have now a career as well. like GV Prakash, you have another alternate career happening for you, Vinay.
Oh, GV
that
is
might
killing
happen.
it in both his careers.
Yeah.
Really killing it.
I know. And he called me out of the blue one day and said, KJ, sir, can you mix something for me? I said, yeah, GV, but I thought you are acting now. What do you want me to mix? Are you doing music? He said, yeah, I'm doing music, but I'm too busy. So I'm acting. So can you take charge of something and do it for me? So like, wow, what a change, like, I'm really happy for him. Really happy for him what he's doing. So good. So now you are programming, you are music producing, and you also do film score mixing. So wow, so that's like three areas of a very, very important part of a music industry where you are recording mixing engineer, you are a music producer, and you're also a film scoring engineer. So what would be which was your first experience doing a film score mix?
Film score mix was initially Mohenjo-daro.
Okay.
And I had the liberty of mixing. I think it was the Babelsberg Orchestra. So making it sound bigger than it wasn't the problem. So that helped a lot.
Okay.
And working with Rahman sir, all of these things really help because you have source material that's really awesome.
How do you shift gears? Like, for example, when you're doing just a recording and this is not going to, you're not mixing the film, you're just doing the music mix, let's say the
Right.
songs, versus how would you approach a mix if you have to do the final film mix as well? Does that change your perception of how you're going to mix change because of that?
That's a great question. I really, it changes because whenever I work with musicians, uh, I always say that we have to mix our own scores because
Mm-hmm.
we know what's in there. And honestly, film mixers don't have the time to spend on a score that you
Absolutely.
do yourself.
Absolutely. I
So
totally agree.
I haven't mixed too many films to be honest, but when I do, I always ask whoever's composing the score and the songs, are they going to mix it? Because I've had the rejection of, no, we'll mix the score ourselves. And then the composer has to come and say, Masha, they want to mix the score, is it okay? And then I have to say, it's perfectly fine with me as long as we have some kind of control. If it comes out how it sounds in your head, then I'm okay with it. So I
Right.
always give the option to the composer saying, are you guys going to mix it? Or would you want me to mix it? If you want me to mix it, then you got to let me know because it takes time. It's not like, it's not 7 reels in a day. It's not going to happen.
Right.
So
No, but I totally agree with you. I mean, at the mix film final mix stage, everybody is pressurized for time because that's the last stage before the movie is to be released. The release dates are already set. We don't have enough time. Editors have taken overshot their time, and you are as getting squeezed. And how do you learn a song? How do you learn the score? You have no idea. You're
Exactly.
just flying by the seat of your pants most of the time. So yeah, I agree. It makes sense for whoever has mixed the film, the songs gets to mix them in the films or the film so that it just becomes easier. Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
get that. But then, how do you approach it?
In my head, especially for dialogue mixes, I tried as much as possible to work with friends of mine. So friends who aren't doing much at that particular time, I'd be like, hey, do you want to mix the dialogues of this? Because it's also
Mm.
a perspective thing. Sitting with the dialogue over 7 days, when I get to the 8th day sitting with the director of the film, it's going to be so hard for me to make any changes or even accept any changes that they ask for.
Right.
So all of the editing, putting things in time with lip sync and fades and all of that, I let people do it, and then we sit together and we play with what needs to be done.
Okay.
Similarly with the music, I try to get at least stereo bounces, and while driving home, while having dinner or things, I just listen to the score, so I get to learn the score. Because even small things like if you know the score, automation becomes easier because you know where the chords
You
should.
know what's
All of
coming
those
next.
things.
Yeah, absolutely. So
So all of those things really help.
right. So you spend time kind of living with those tracks and living with the mixes, so you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
just
you're
makes
coming
my
at.
life easier. I don't know if everybody does it, but it just helps me out.
No, it does. I mean, for people who've been watching all the other interviews and they've heard other engineers talk about it, saying, yeah, I mean, you need to live with that, the tracks, because somebody, if you're just mixing, somebody just sends you tracks saying, hey, mix this for me. How do you kind of go through it and start mixing immediately till you've lived with it, till you know what the song is saying, what is the song about, how is it going to be moving, dynamics, everything. So you need to
Yeah.
spend time going through it. So that's what you are doing. How do you, like, it's a question everybody wants to ask, is like, how do you keep your sensibilities fresh? I mean, because we hear a song how many times? Like at least 100 times. One song we all listen to and try to keep our perspective right and keep our objectivity about it. So, what is your mantra? Like, how do you break away from all that and still keep your perspective on that song? Or when you're jumping from one song to the next, how do you kind of reboot?
Uh, it's damn funny it's coming from you because I asked you the same question multiple times many years ago. And a lot of what you and the rest of you guys have told me is like, it helps to take breaks. It really does.
Yeah.
And there is obviously a lot of people don't have the privilege of taking too many breaks, but it really does. Even just getting up, walking, having a conversation, coming back, sitting down, all of those things help. Um, And to be honest, sleep really helps. When you wake up the next day, you'd have such a huge perspective change. Sometimes it's funny. You'd be like, what was I doing yesterday?
What was I doing? Yeah.
I'm sure to all of us. I'm sure it's happened to.
What was I thinking? What was I smoking? What was I doing yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah. And most composers, they understand these days that, because even they've gone through the whole process of what was I playing yesterday? And it's the same process. So that really helps, exactly like how you told us. There's something that's something we learned really, really well from Rahman sir was, he always says, you have to love the song, but you should know when to let go, because it still has to be delivered. So there's a point where you have to say, yeah, that's good enough. That's good. Let's not do more to it, because it always goes downhill, especially for me. Maybe 6 hours into a mix, if I don't stop, it's going to go downhill, because I'm going to start doing so much, because digital software lets you do all the processing you want.
Yeah, I mean, every time I was in Chennai at AM or Panchatan when we were working, your dad's constant thing was, "Chalo Sardar, break lete." Out of the blue, he had with such a somber tone, like as if it's a mandatory thing set by some principal or something, And just sitting there mixing, we are doing something very intense, and suddenly he'll start, "Sardar, mix lete, break lete," and he'd walk up, and like first few times, I'm like, oh, like okay, is there like a mandatory nashta time or something? That no, that's just me taking a break. I'm done with this right now. My mind is full. Okay, so I got used to that a little later on, and of course I miss that a lot. That corner on the window on the outside AM where we used to sit, and I did a lot of second-hand passive smoking with him, and talk about something totally unrelated. It's not that we come out and talk about the song. We talk about something totally unrelated, somewhere else, something 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something. And you come back and you are like, wow, let's go. Like, I'm charged for another few hours right now.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
That's
guys,
exactly what happened.
Right. So, people who are listening in, please, Vinay is reiterating what maybe all the other 13 before him have said. Guys, take a break. Take a break, give your ears a rest, give your brain a rest, give your entire body a rest, a perspective a rest, and you'll come back far more charged than when you were doing it something non-stop. So thank you, Vinay, for just, reinforcing that thing that we talked about. So tell me, you are, somebody's asking you, what software do you use? Okay, I don't know how that matters, but somebody's very keen to know, what software do you use? Which one do you use?
Pro Tools mainly.
Mainly Pro Tools.
Yeah. Okay. Occasionally the Logic Pro happens, but mainly Pro Tools.
Oh, but that's your most comfort zone, like.
Yeah, it's also because there's surround work happening as soon as the albums get done. And that's mainly why we shifted, because it wasn't very comfortable. Logic is not too strong with surround. So that's when the shift actually happened. And then it's just easier to work on one DAW.
Okay, because one DAW, that's true. I agree. Yeah. Especially when you're going to go into post with the same software, it just makes sense to work in that and just carry that forward. It's just far more simpler that. Sanjeev is asking a very, very naughty question. If all the vocalists of a band song, if the vocalist of a band or a song gets all the women, what does the engineers work for? Sanjeev, yes, we will let you know that.
We work for the guitarist who gets the other girls.
Yeah, we are here to take away all that the guitarist is going to get. So now you are also as a consultant to NAC Studio. So what is that all about now?
So there was in fact, it's a funny story how NAC came about. There was a time when, all of us get work and then there's no studio to go to, especially when there's surround mixes that have to go out immediately. So it was one of those days, and couple of friends and us, we were having a drink, I think, and then I was like, you guys have so much money, why don't you just make a studio? And this is how...
So that suggestion came from you?
Yeah.
You are the culprit. Oh, okay.
and then maybe a few months later, he came up and like, yeah, that's actually a cool idea. We did some research on it. And I think we need this. The city needs one. And I was like, I didn't sign up for this. I was just ranting, please don't do this, because in an age where studios are shutting down, you shouldn't be opening a new one. But then they're really passionate about the whole project. So they said, no, let's do it and let's do it properly. So then I said, if you're doing it properly, then you need a post house. Like it can't just be a music studio because it's not going to bring in too much. So then a lot of we brought in other people. So Anand, the guy who owns NAC, they're great. They're great people to work with, great business people. They understand that creative people need their freedom. Studios have to be run by creative people. A lot of that. So we brought in Harish, who's another very close friend of ours, who's a film director, who's the guy who runs the studio.
Okay.
And Harish is the guy who said, if we need this to work, we need to bring in a lot of video work. So because that's also a big source of revenue. It is a lot of investment, but it drives more revenue than the audio does, to be honest.
Sure.
So then for the audio land, they said, why don't you just take care of it? So in terms of consulting, it helps for the studio to be up to date because we work in the same industry. And most studios run out because they're like, oh, they've not updated, or the vibe is not right. So it helps to have people who are working in the industry run it because when you enter the studio, you want to feel like, oh, this is a good place to be at.
Absolutely.
And the rule number one of a studio is let people in and never let them out. So
you lock the door. Do you lock the door till you've done everything with them?
You have to have like a access thing to leave the building.
Yeah, you can check out any time you like. You can never leave.
Never leave. Exactly. That's what it is.
So it's coming from there.
Yeah.
So now we've seen your role in these different facets but still related. And there's another side of you which we'll talk about as well. I mean, you're also doing live front of house shows for Anirudh particularly and AR and other people. So now that's another ball game altogether from what I have been through. So just a quick, I think if you can take the listeners to just a quick shift, what happens from the studio work and then when you go out on the road, which are them, let's say point wise, like let's say 2-3 points which are a huge shift in case you want to be a live engineer versus a studio engineer. What happens?
The main thing for me is your mindset is very important because in the studio you have to do it till it gets right.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if you do a couple wrong takes. It's making people comfortable to do it again, to get it right, so that for eternity, because you have one chance to impress people. Once it's out, it's out. It's going to be there somewhere. So it has to be done right. So for eternity, it's going to be there. And a bad note is going to be a bad note for the rest of its lifetime.
True.
But on the flip side, the live world is completely the opposite. There is no time to do it right. It has to be, and the only time you have to make it sound perfect is exactly when it happens, and there's no second chance. So the mindset for me is really, really where the shift happens more than anything. It's like in the studio, it's like no, let's push the delivery. It has to be right. But in the live thing, it's like if you don't get it right the first time, I can't help you. So I think it's again making people understand this is how it should be, and then not being a bad person in either of the rooms helps, I guess.
Okay.
So those things for me,
right? Yeah, go ahead.
The second thing for me is time management is important both sides. But in the live side, you can't take up everybody's role. Like if you have to have, you need to have somebody to help you out with the rigging of the whole process.
Okay.
Make sure your desk is sorted. The other tech guys, the backline guys, they're going to help you out, and you have to be okay with people helping you out. And I know in the studio sometimes you have to take your call and be like, no, this is how I want to do it. But when you're on the live thing, you have to let people do it the way they do it because it's going to help you eventually. So that's the other thing. And to be honest, I'm not a really proficient live engineer because I've not done too many shows. It just helps to know every song of Anis when we're performing it, or every song of Ravansas when we're performing it, to know when to switch to which focus. Yeah. So I think people should definitely learn songs if they're on their live shows.
Okay. So I think you made a very good point regarding the studio and the live scene of, being very focused in the studio. I'm trying to get it right, come what may, in terms of time. And then in the live situation, you only have that one take, and I mean, it's come and gone before you even know it. So yeah, it requires a lot of preparation, a lot of teamwork, so that everybody focuses on that 1 hour, 2 hour live performance and make sure they get that right for everybody. While in the studio, you have a second chance, third chance. I mean, you can do it again till the cows come home, so to speak. So yeah, that is a huge difference. And knowing the song, knowing the material, I think it goes back to what you were saying, that even in the studio when you're mixing, you need to know the material. You have to familiarize yourself by hearing it again and again. So also when you're doing live, you also need to know the artist material, because so many times you can add so many subtle things to the live show, which only when you know the song, you know where he's going to go high and hold a note. So can you feed some more reverb, or that's where he needs the echo delay, or can he bring it down? Can you push the band in the Kodak and you bring it down? All those things, they make such a huge. I'll just share a very quick story with you on that. Was when we were mixing Bombay theme for the first time. I remember with Sridhar, and it's one of those rare things that here's an artist, A.R. Rahman, who had two front of house engineers, not one.
Yeah.
So both of us are sitting there and mixing it.
Humongous racks.
I mean, let's not even go there. I mean, I think the first show had something like, on a last count, about 118 inputs on an analog days.
Right.
So, and when the Bombay theme rehearsal is happening, the first time I got to know from Sridhar that the theme is divided into segments, and the first lead is by a cello, then it's by the viola, then it's by the violin. So it's not that the whole orchestra is just playing and the theme is repeating itself.
Yeah.
But every time there's a lead and there are the other people to follow. So you have to do that same in the live mix as well. I mean, since he knew the song and he is the one who had done it. So, you got an insight, and then suddenly it made the mixing experience for ourselves and for the audience much better. Exactly what you just said. I'm just putting that into focus. I learned that on that day, that's where the song was. It just made a huge difference for subsequent shows which happened after that. So guys, you need to know the artist you're working with. Spend time, ask them to send, even if it's a new artist, ask them to send the material, hear it, get familiar with it, even though you might not have mixed it. But get familiar, talk to them in case you have questions. So very valid point for people who want to get into live engineering. It's not just the job of standing behind a console and looking cool, guys. There's a lot of work involved. It's a long hour job. So
that's half the job.
Looking cool. But Vinay, that's such an easy thing to do. You and I are looking cool right now. How much effort have we put into it? -1. So looking cool is not the problem.
Only had to borrow specs from my mom. That's the only preparation that was in there.
You did that. You did that pretty well. So Vinay, what is it looking like now? I mean, do you find yourself that you are gravitating towards maybe composing?
I don't think I have the ability to venture into that market. I think I'll stick to doing what I'm doing.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because the only reason is that I've thought about this, and it's like, it's just, I don't think it's for me, because I critique other people's work a lot, and that is pretty much is sums up what I do for a living also. The more than critique, I try to help. But if I do it myself, maybe I'm not looking at it the way I look at other people's stuff. So and my musical ability is not at that level. It's not too late to learn, but I don't think it's there yet to get into composing.
Not as yet. Okay. So we'll wait for it. I mean, there's no rush. We are here. You are here. Everybody's here. We'll see how time progresses on that front. So what is on the card now for you? Like, so you've done all these 4 forays into the recording part of the industry. Anything that you feel right now that you want to like get your hands dirty, and like something else apart from these 3-4 things that you're doing within this industry, like the recording format? Anything else which is really taking your fancy and you want to explore it?
I've gone back to playing my guitar. I've just cleaned it, restrung it, and the quarantine helps.
Great.
So that's
Wow.
happening. Right now,
Okay.
the majority of our guitars are at Honey's studio because that's probably where we spend a lot of our time. And
Okay.
now that I've been locked at home, there's one guitar at home which let's clean it up. We cleaned it and restrung it. So I'm playing again. That's the goal.
Okay.
The other thing is I think
That's a great one.
I think start mixing films more. People ask me to mix films, but I usually don't venture into it because it's a little more time consuming than the music projects that come our way. And it's really hard to say no to music projects and pick a film, especially for me, because they're essentially music there. So I think film mixes is probably where I'll venture into and take up more work maybe there.
How are you? How is your relationship with Dolby Atmos?
So I think the first proper relationship started when we mixed One Heart, which is a documentary concert film of Rahman Sir's. I think it was close to 3 years ago.
Okay.
And we went to Bombay to the Dolby studio and we said, let's do it there because we were going to end up delivering it via Dolby and all of that. So we went in there, and that's when I met a lot of the people, of course, other than Haridwar, who I bump into almost every other day in some studio or the other because he doesn't sleep. But the Dolby connection for me is I really believe in the work that they are doing. I think they're the only ones pushing the boundaries on the audio land in terms of, even in terms of getting it out there, marketing the product. Really, and it's not a gimmick. When I got into the film mixing world, I sat with them in detail, and Srijesh, who is another expert in the Dolby world, sat with them, tried to understand what the whole drama was about, and then figured out it wasn't really drama, because I think the system that they've done with the Atmos system is pretty mind-blowing. Yeah. It's finally a place where we can rely that the system does down mixes and folds down in a very in a way that you wouldn't realize even having mixed it. It takes you a second to realize, is this playing 7/1 or 5/1? And then you'll be like, it's that good. And they've been amazing people to work with because they will send you something saying, do you want to check this out? Like recently, there's something called the Atmos Production Suite, which lets you put it on your computer.
Right.
And during the lockdown, HD, as I call him, Haridwar, was like, why don't you check this out? I said, there's no surround system at home. He's like, no, there's a binaural audio.
Headphone audio option in that, yes.
So he said, just check it out. So I was like, really? I'm not into the whole binaural audio thing. He said, no, just play with it whenever you have the time. And this is the one time you can't say, no, I don't really have the time, because you actually do have a lot of time.
So you can't cheat this one.
Yeah. Hey, Ani is here. Hey, Ani.
Your friend Ani is here. Hi, Anirudh. How are you? We were remembering you with Vinay and your work together, guys. Amazing work. Damn good job, both of you guys together. I think the synergy shows. When you hear the songs, you can make out that the team behind that is all thinking in the same direction, has the same vision. That I think the songs kind of give you that idea straight away. So good job, guys. Really good work. So there are people here who want to hear you play the guitar, Vinay. So people are saying, why doesn't he play the guitar and tell us?
There's only a electric guitar that's not connected, so you can't hear me. I'm sorry. It's my way of saying I'm so now we have to play it in front of you.
Okay, maybe some other time we will do that. So somebody else asked a question, like listening to all the albums and all the work that you have in your house. I mean, exposing yourself to all that music of yesteryears. What kind of a impact did it have on you when you were working? Like in the sense, having all that behind you. And then when you approach a song, approach a new mix, or approach a new film or something musical, how much of a bearing, how much of a weight does that carry? I mean, how does that come about?
I think it is all of that that has really helped me do what I do today, because the amount of music that we've listened to growing up, just with my dad's music, my mom's music, his friends, my friends, their parents, all of you
Right.
guys, it's everybody's thrown different music at us. So there was, when we growing up, it's a lot of jazz, because my dad is a big jazz guy.
Huge jazz fan,
And then there's also, of course, a lot of the pop from back in the day. And then me and my brother started getting into metal music, and we played. Even in college, we used to play metal music, and then there was the whole, of course, the film music is where, listening to a lot of film music, you should be started because it's all multi-genre.
Yeah.
And as long as you can appreciate it, it helps you move and switch lanes, saying, okay, this should maybe go this way or this go this way. So I think listening to all this music is the only thing that has gotten me so far without having learned formally, and all of that. So I think it's the only thing that has given me the boost, listening to all of this music.
So you, at any point, you did not feel that having not done a sound engineering course kind of got in the way or something? At any point of time, did you feel that would have helped or something?
No, so okay, there's a story for all the listeners.
Okay.
So I asked Paji a long time ago, do you think I should go to a school? And some people may kill me or kill him for saying this, because a lot of our friends own schools and run great schools and great programs. And he said, you have to tell me what you want to do in the school and what do you want to do once you're done with the school? Why do you want to go to the school? If it's going to give you a doorway into a studio, you're already here. And if you have people you want to learn from, we're all here. So if you're straying away, then we'll let you know, is what they said. I think you went to the school in Canada.
Yeah, in Toronto, that's right.
And you used to tell me there were sessions on, they would play you a reverb, and you have to tell what kind of reverb it was, whether it was spring or plate. And so all of those things is like, wow, that's something. I asked a lot of the guys who went to school here, and they said there's no way we were in sessions like that. So I was like, I have all the tutors here, and selfishly, it was all free education, and they were okay giving that education. It's not like you guys were a whole day back and saying, go to school and learn what you have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think I had the need to go to a school.
Okay.
But don't get me wrong, schools are really important for people to understand what the job involves. I guess for me it helped because I understood how many hours has to go into this. Not because it's a cool thing to say I've worked 18 hours a day. It just happens that you would end up spending that long. And I know it because I've seen it happen at home. So unless a lot of people don't understand it, that it takes this long to do what we do, because they don't know what it involves. So in understanding a lot of that really helps. Going to a school really, really helps. And getting mentors. I got lucky. I'm probably the luckiest person in the industry to have an open door at people's studios who I've been aspiring to work with, or I've been a fan or an awe of growing up. I've just been lucky, and to have mentors who worked with those people. Right. So finding a mentor is really, really important, I think.
Okay, sure. I think I remember talking to Ashish Manchanda a long time back when he had just come back, and we were setting up this AES thing in India at that point of time, and I was in Delhi, and I used to come from there to attend the meeting. And he mentioned this that long time ago, saying it's all okay to have a forum where engineers meet, but it's very important to have a mentorship program, and where engineers can, or new kids can learn, look up to some, or ask, and get answers, learn from their experience. And I think that's very critical, very important, that if you find a mentor or mentors who can help you along the way and guide you, there's nothing like it, because that really, really is a big help for any engineer, any field in the engineering, and I'm sure in others as well. So very valid point, Vinay. The reason why I'm asking all this is because I get a lot of questions from youngsters who keep asking me this, and I get a lot of questions from parents. Do you think it's wise to send my son or a daughter to a school to study engineering? Do you think there is a profession or a career in this that they can get the money back because there's a lot of investment? So
Yeah.
I get that asked a lot, and my the reason for also doing this series is also to answer all those questions by talking to other engineers, talking to colleagues, and them answering it rather than just me saying it. That everybody has a viewpoint about this, and
Yeah.
you have very clearly highlighted that point that yeah, it is important to do that school, but if you get like you an opportunity to work with in studios and places which offer you this opportunity, then yeah, I mean you can make do without it, and you are a prime example of somebody who's made it a career out of his life of doing this, so yeah, good going, man. Absolutely
Thank you.
proud of you, what you are doing, your body of work that you are doing, the kind of work that you're doing. This is really fabulous, and to hear more than anything else, when one hears a song and one reads your credit and what you are doing, or other engineers who I know, youngsters particularly who are coming up, it is such a beautiful thing to kind of,
Thank
and
you.
you smile. I kind of just smile when I read a name like that, and he's done it. So wow, that's
Thank you
where they
so
are
much,
in.
sir. It means a
So
lot to me, to be honest.
that is a beautiful feeling. I mean, I can just share that with you. That it really feels amazing to kind of hear
Thank
you
you.
guys doing this work. So somebody
This
has
means
a
a lot. It's
question.
made my day.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir. Welcome, man. How do you approach a song which you have to mix in given two situations? That when you're working on a project from scratch, or when you're given a recording and you have to just mix? I think he kind of answered that, but if you want to just quickly take that.
Yeah.
Suppose you're just mixing a song you recorded, and suppose you're just mixing a song which somebody sent you, like so.
Yeah. I really like to be involved in the process of making the song. I really, really do, because I think it helps me have a true insight into what the song
Hmm.
is in the composer's head, at least, or at least I have the liberty to guess, because I've not been
Get
given
there,
the
okay.
song today. But the two different approaches is, there's if I've already recorded it and if I'm doing things, I think because I've heard it so many times subconsciously, I would do the first thing that if I open the session and if I do the first thing, I think it's the right decision, because I've been making that decision over time.
Hmm.
But if it's something that's just given to me, I'd
Right.
make sure I'd listen to it uh, 10, 20 times while I'm doing other stuff. And then again, when I come back and listen to it, if I have the same feeling that it may need this, then I'd go ahead and do that. Because it's new to me, and I need to second guess myself if I've just got the track to me.
And another related question to this was then, when do you know a mix is done? Like, when do you know, okay, I'm done with this?
You most people, meaning I don't know most times. Sometimes time helps, meaning time. I'm saying the deadline helps.
Okay.
Sometimes. So I've learned from a lot of you guys that I never save a session. I always save as, and I make a note as to why I saved as. So if we're making an edit, then we'll save it as guitars edit first two or something. So
Right.
I know why I've saved as, and I can always go back to that and print a mix to listen to, and then maybe a few save as later. In fact, it's happened to some of the songs that we've mixed with Ani, saying, "No, it was fine back then. Why can't we just go back to that and start?" So then all
Right.
you just take away all of this, and you at least can go back to an older version.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
and then we know that at this point we started screwing up the mix somewhere. So
Hmm.
we'll try to refrain from getting into that, or maybe look at it after listening to some other songs. So reference
Right.
stuff like that. References really help. Definitely helps, I think.
Okay. So do you use a lot of reference material when you're mixing a song?
I do. Not while mixing a song, just to get into the mood.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do I don't have too much discipline. I don't know if you guys know, but or I don't know if it's an excuse. My dad used to say he wouldn't get into the swimming pool with us because it would change the way he hears things the next day. So
Okay.
back in the day, and we used to think it was all nonsense because he just didn't want to get into the scene. But it could be true because when we work on a long day and then go back the next day, our ears are really hearing things differently.
Yeah.
So for me to get into how I usually should hear things, I play a bunch of tracks, all different genres, maybe even different languages. Some are not with vocals in it, just for me to get space and.
Do you have any favorites like you? Do you have any favorites? I mean, so where do you play them? I mean, do you have them on your phone? Do you have them on your iPod? Do you have them on your laptop? Where do you have these songs?
These CDs help a lot. So I've ripped these CDs, made them digital, and I played off a file.
Okay.
Sometimes I would play the same file of Apple Music. So then, if we can lie to the world saying we can hear the difference, sometimes we can. If you can hear the difference, then you know what is the difference is. And it's pretty much, we are so used to one particular track that we know it's not hitting enough, or it's not sweet enough, or it's sounding choked, and all of these things. It's more feeling, emotions that drive me into mixing a song the way it should be done, I think.
Great. That's how it should be. Absolutely. And So listening to songs is your one way of getting oneself into the mood of the song that you're going to get into. At the same time, it's like a reference as well, so you know what you're looking for, where are you going to end up with that song. So listening to reference songs is a great help. I do agree, and a lot of engineers also agree with that. And people would like to know what's on your playlist, but maybe somewhere you can post your playlist that your favorite playlist is, or maybe on Spotify, make your own playlist, of all this, and maybe you can share it with people. Just call it Vinay's favorite reference playlist or something. Create that on Spotify and let people kind of hear that.
Yeah, reference playlist I can.
That would be great.
But I'm not a playlist guy at all. I get a lot of flack from it from my friends because I'm an album guy. I actually don't have a playlist on my phone. If I usually get into something, if I want to listen to a song, because I would have heard it in one of my friends or the people I work with, because a lot of them they're just up to date on what happens, when it happens, which songs coming out from which artists, who they're collaborating with. Right. I'm a little late on that because I'm not a single guy. Meaning, I'm a single guy, but listening to single on music.
Let's correct that, people. He is not a singles guy in terms of the music he listens to. Yeah. Otherwise, he is the most eligible bachelor. He is single. Yeah. So please let me clarify that, And listening to a whole album as such, I'm sure he gets it in his DNA from his dad because he was also like that, and so am I. Our generation, we would listen to the whole album from top to bottom, come what may. Yeah. Even if there was one or two bad songs in it or not at par at the other, but you would go through the whole thing without skipping. That was the deal. So it's how you approach it, and that's how he does it, guys. I think Suresh Perumal just came online. He just said hi and went off somewhere. He's there. So we have roughly 2.5 minutes left, Vinay, and before Instagram kicks our butt out of here, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for your time to be here on this chat session for us and to help and to talk to a lot of engineers, youngsters who are looking up and who want to know more, who want to know how to go about it and things like that. So it's a great, invaluable information that people like you and who are on this chat show pass on to other people. And at DAC, we are really, really thankful to you for your time and space and sharing everything with that, for your ability to share. I think that's very critical. So thank you once again, man.
Thanks to you, sir. It's like a lot of people don't do this. It's really important for people to know about the work that goes beyond making a film or a song, because it's a huge collaborative process. Thanks to you for doing this whole series. It's so informative. Every engineer that I know personally who I've listened to in the last 13 episodes, I've got a huge learning experience just listening to the stories they have to say. And to be honest, I have to tell you, I think you're an amazing interviewer. You let people speak. You ask the right questions because nobody cares what plugins we use. It's about why we use them. And that really helps.
I mean, it's like I went to an interview where they asked Bruce Wheaton, what mic did you use on Michael Jackson's snare? I mean, that's irrelevant. That's really not that important. How do you work is what I want to know. So we are down to the last few minutes, seconds right now, Vinay. So before it kicks us out, so thank you once again, and we will
Thank you. Thank you
trade
so
some more
much.
information if we have. And thank you everybody for being here with us.
Thank you,
And
guys.
yes, the glares was just to throw you all off. Frankly, there was no reason for it. We just wanted to throw everybody off. So that's why. Because Sanjeev T looks great in glares, and we wanted to beat that. You know, say we
Yes.
also look great. We look cool in the glares, Sanjeev. So this is for you. So great. Thanks a lot, and be safe,
Thank you.
Vinay. And
You too, sir.
take care, man. And
Thank you, sir.
we'll meet soon, inshallah.
Take
Okay.
care.
Bye bye, Vinay. Thanks so
Bye.
much.